Hi, everyone. All right. Hello. While we wait for everyone else, is there anyone going to the Ed Rising Spotlight event today at 5 p.m.? I hope you read about it in my announcements or you get emails from Ed Rising. Is there anyone who didn't know it was today? Who wants more info? I'm going to give you more info in just a sec. All right, so welcome, welcome. Last day. Can you believe it? Some of you are like, I don't know. I don't know if I can believe it because I still have assignments to turn in. How could it be the last day, right? Yeah, craziness. So, I know you have some assignments. Hopefully you got my message last night that I was like, "Oh, I'll help you finish repeating decimals." Like, don't cuz people were on my office hours and I could tell there was a lot of stress happening and things like that. So, not my intention. Sorry if you were super stressed out. Um, we we'll go over it today. And if you notice, not a lot of that was on the review sheet or the oral exam or anything like that, but it is good things to know. And we explored things yesterday about, we discussed like, how do I know if it's going to terminate or if it's going to repeat? And we were like, oh, somebody should have told me that a long time ago. And by the way, it's fairly intuitive, but I think that we were never asked to investigate that. So we never thought about it. So even though it's intuitive, how would you know to think of that? So, because I don't know about you guys, but I remember doing long division of fractions, like changing fractions to decimals, and always asking my teacher, like, when do I stop? Right? Like, how far do I go? Do you remember that? How many zeros do I add? Do you remember asking those kinds of questions? And your teacher never told you? It was always like some magical thing that you just, I literally remember a teacher going, "Oh, you'll figure it out." And I was like, "I'll figure it out. What are you talking like, no, I won't figure it out. That's why I'm asking you." Like, did you miss that part? So I like to know, like, if it only has twos or fives or both, I know it's going to end, right? I could maybe investigate how long till it ends, but the fact that it ends makes me feel pretty good, right? Um, and then when I look at, oh, if it's got anything other than a 2 or a 5 in the prime factorization of the denominator, then it's going to repeat. And then some of you investigated, right, like, or figured out how long till it's going to repeat. Yeah. A lot of them repeat very quickly, but not all of them. So that's what's troubling. Okay. So before we get started or too far, I was just talking about the Ed Rising Spotlight. Yes. Can you see my screen? How many of you know that this was going on today? I don't know what that weird noise was. Oh, I bet it's Beth texting me right now. This is going on today. It's at 5 o'clock till 6:30. I'll be there. It's moving forward from MCC to a 4-year college. We have a lot of guests at this. Let me look at the thing. If you didn't go to the spotlight in the fall, you might not be familiar with the format, but here's the recruiters that are going to be there. That was hilarious. It was Beth. I don't know if you saw. She was Do any of you have Beth right now for class? Beth Olson. Yeah. So we have a way to like message each other. And that was that weird noise. Nobody ever uses it except for Beth and I think. So, and randomly it just pops up. Um so the spotlight event is we're going to discuss things. Here are the recruiters that are going to be there. ASU, ACU, GCU, and NAU. And don't ask me about ACU, Arizona Christian University, because I know nothing about them. But after today, I will, which is exciting. And this is what we're going to talk about. They're going to talk about why we should pick their college and, if we're transfer students, what do we do? And then we're going to ask them questions about COVID. And then we're going to ask them about scholarships and financing. So it's a great thing that Ed Rising is doing, especially if you're planning to transfer. And some of you are like, I'm already down that road. Like, I already know where I'm transferring. I already know. You might want to write down those names because if you have any questions, sometimes it's hard to figure out who to ask a question to, right? So that's a good strategy for you. Is anybody going today?
I am.
Betty, you're going?
Yeah, and I have a question. The email is not through the link, is that correct?
Yes, let me look and make sure. And I can put the link in the chat too.
If you don't mind, because just in
Yes.
case.
Yes, the link is in that email. But I wish they would just send out like a Google
Link.
invite,
Yeah.
a Google invite with the link in it. So I could just click that link instead
Thank
of
you.
having to find that email because did you just see my email inbox? It's a
Yeah.
disaster area. Yeah, it's a disaster. Okay, so good. Anyone else going besides me and Betty? No. Okay. If you know anybody who is thinking about going into the education program, send them that link, right? Send them to this because it's going to be good, or it should be. I love Beth. Savannah's my student in 257 online right now. She's the president of Ed Rising, and Ed Rising is struggling as a club to get more members. So we need more members so we can do a lot of more community projects because it's really good to find a job, to do networking and all of that. Okay, Betty, by the way, did you get my email?
Yes, thank you so much. It really
Okay,
did
good.
help out. So thank you.
Okay,
I
good.
appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. And McKenna, you had sent me an email in more and I responded in more. Did you see that?
Yeah, I just saw it last night.
Okay, good. And did it help my explanation? Okay, good. I try to respond right away. And then sometimes I'm like, wait, but did they know I responded? Did they see where I responded? Because sometimes it's a little tricky to figure that out. Okay. So today we're going to talk repeating decimals. We're also going to talk tape diagrams, which are one of my favorite things. Karina, I'm ready.
So I was wondering if the exam is only available today or if it was like last time where it's available for 3 days.
It started Monday and ends today.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but today is it.
Okay.
So, because our class officially ends today,
Okay.
right? Yeah. So are you stressed now that you have to take it today?
I was already like planning on taking it today. Like I made everything on time and like I made a slot in my schedule for it, so I'm good.
Okay, good. Yeah, but you were like, well, wait, if she puts it off till tomorrow, maybe I will take it tomorrow. No, you can't take it tomorrow. You have to take it today. You want to be done with it. You want to be on spring break, baby, because you're going to need it before 2:57, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I was just going to tell you something and I have no idea what it was now. Any other questions before I share my screen and start doing some mathy math? No. Does anyone know what a tape diagram is? You can just talk if you do, because I'm trying to log in my iPad. You've probably seen them before. Okay, sometimes they're called double number lines, sometimes they're called strip diagrams. I don't like to use the word strip with my students, especially in 6th grade, because they get a little sassy, right? But I do like to say naked to 3rd graders because it does grab their attention. So I don't know why there's that fine line there between strip and naked, but I would definitely not say strip naked. Don't say those two words together. That would be a bad idea. Yeah. Oh, just you wait until you hear what I've done during probability before in 8th grade in front of my entire class. It was disastrous. So that'll make you come back for that story because to this day, I'm still mortified that that occurred. But it's okay. You don't know what it is yet. I'll tell you later. Okay. So a tape diagram is just a picture. Do you remember when we did the dress problem? Remember the dress problem? And we drew a rectangle and then we labeled, remember the original price and the sale price. And there was that pesky thing was it of or was it off? Remember that? Yeah. You're like, yeah, I do remember that. It was awful. So that's what we're going to talk about. That's kind of what a tape diagram is. A picture. Oh, I've got a great example. Biking to Bernie's. Biking to Bernie's. When you guys made your pictures, by the way, I loved biking to Bernie's. Did you guys like biking to Bernie's? Did you like Flipgrid? Hopefully you're like, why oh, who didn't like Flipgrid? Alyssa hated it. Bethel hated it. Who else didn't like it?
I just don't like hearing my own voice or recording it.
Oh, well, it's okay. You don't have to hear your own voice. We like hearing your voice, so you're fine. Right? No worries on that. Did anyone enjoy it instead of typing paragraphs for the discussion board? Okay.
It made it a lot easier to like voice it and be able to do it. I just got done with storytelling last semester. So like I did nothing but flip grids for a solid like 16 weeks. So once we started doing this, I was like, oh my God, again already.
Yeah, that might be a little much. I know because Beth uses it for storytelling, right? And sometimes I can imagine that it would get old. So what I tried to do, I didn't do it very well this semester, But what I try to do is put both of them together. So like sometimes you do sometimes you do a discussion board regular, and sometimes you do a picture, you know, or something like that. So I'm going to share my screen. I know I'm already sharing my screen, but I don't like that screen. So just kidding. Stop sharing that. Because this is a better example. And I meant to show you this after we did biking to Bernie's. So I'm going to show it to you. If you're wondering why I'm feeling like so flustered, is because we could do about, I don't know, a month more of classes. That's how much material I have, right? So we could do a whole nother thing. Okay. So can you see that picture right there? Yeah. The only thing that I don't like about this, and a lot of you probably read this on your Flipgrid, so this could be a tape diagram because we have multiple measurements going on, and we could add more to this picture. What I wish it had is, I wish it said 1/5 of the trip, right, for all of these. Because we were confused. When you guys answered this, I was pretty generous, I will have to say, on this grading. Because when it says, how much do they have left to travel? When we say how much, we want a measurement. I don't want you to say, we have 1/5 left. Like, what? It's 1/4 of a mile, right? So, and then you could have even put your time in here and said, this is 5 minutes and 5 minutes and 5 minutes. But a tape diagram is just a visual that might have lots of units going on. It might have multiple units going on. That's why some people call it a double number line. Okay. But sometimes it's not even a double number line, because then we could do another one right here. This, we knew this had taken 20 minutes. And some of you are like, oh, that picture's getting so messy, right? And you're like, I like separate pictures. That's fine if you like separate pictures. But for a kid who's drawing it, it's hard enough to draw one rectangle full of things. So they might choose to only draw one rectangle and then have multiple labels. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, what'd you think of that picture? Nice, lovely. Okay, I'm going to share a doc in the chat that's about tape diagrams. And everybody just have it. It's literally following directions. So if you can follow directions, which sometimes I wonder about some of you, if you can follow directions, because I seem to have to remind some of you about the directions. Apparently, students think I put extra words on things, like words that might be optional. There's no optional words there in my information, right? It's all necessary words. So hold on. I just had, oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to put it in the chat right now. And then I'm going to pull it up on my iPad. Just look at it. You can draw on paper. It's fine. I'll do the first one with you. And then I'm going to set you to work on the rest of them, just right here. And then we'll chat about them, because I do want to do repeating decimals too. But this is so fun, we can't skip it, just so you know. Okay. So this is what that doc looks like, yes? Tape diagrams. Okay. So I'm going to zoom in just to this beginning. It says divide the bar. And I highly recommend, if you start this with students, give them some bars so you don't spend 10 minutes telling them to draw rectangles correctly, right? So divide the bar into 4 equal parts. The easiest way to divide into an even number is to split it in half and then split each half into half. And then they'll be equal-ish, right? Okay. Then it says the entire unit is $16. Label the percentages and the dollar amounts. So this is where it's like a tape diagram. So it's almost like a double number line or a strip diagram. So I'm going to have $0 down here. And I'm going to put $16 at the end. So that is going to act like a number line at the top. And then at the bottom, I'm going to put 0% and I'm going to put 100% at the bottom. Okay, so again, that's going to act like a number line. But do you notice all these boxes are the same size? So we don't want to put different numbers in the boxes. We always want to put the same value in the boxes, kind of like we did when we did fractions, right? We didn't do 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5. We just did 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5 because they were all the same size. Same idea here. So let's just think about this. Don't worry about the questions yet. We want to label the percentages and the dollar amounts. So if I have $16 and I have 4 boxes, I can do 16 divided by 4, and I'm going to put $4 in each box. Does that make sense how I did that? I just did $16 divided by 4, and I got $4. All right, and then I'm just going to look on this top part, and remember this top part's going to act like a number line. So when I go from here to here, I'm going to get to $4. Then when I add another copy of $4, I'm going to get to $8. When I add another copy of $4, I'm going to get to $12. And then when I get to the end, I'm at $16. So do you see how that's different than writing inside the boxes 4, 8, 12, and 16? Okay, so it's a different idea. Okay, and then at the bottom, most kids know some things, like if 100% is the whole, then if I get to half, I get to 50%. And then if I split 50% in half, I get to 25%. And then if I follow along the number line, so the bottom and the top act like number lines. Yeah. And the middle just acts like almost like a fraction labeling. Okay. All right. Now you should be able to answer these questions because the picture tells you. So when it says 25% of $16 is, well, you're going to look at 25% and you're going to see what it says on the top number line. 25% is $4. So you're going to fill it in. Then you're going to do, okay, 50% of $16. Well, that would be right here. $8. And so on. Everybody okay? So 75% would be $12 and 100% would be $16. This is a really good visual. How many of you are like, oh my, why did I not learn these when I learned percents? Yeah? Yeah, because this is an elementary school thing. You guys learned percents using equations or proportions, which are both higher than most elementary school students, right? So a young kid can draw these pictures and do the mathematics. All right, so now look at number 2. Number 2 says split it into 10 equal parts. So if you split it in half, then you need 4 lines on the left and 4 lines on the right, right? So 1, it's a little hard when you first start to make yours even-ish, but you get better. And then I always count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so you'll be able to, it says label the percentages and dollar amounts. I really like it to be completely labeled like this. Yeah, even if I'm not answering the whole question, right? Even if it doesn't ask me every single question, I like to label it completely. When you do number 3, you're going to still divide it into 10 equal parts. And then when you do number 4, it still says label into 10 equal parts, but can I warn you to read carefully on number 4? Yes, read carefully on number 4. All right, so I'm going to set you for a few minutes. When you're done, type to me in the chat something that you want to do over spring break. I'm not saying you get to do it, but I'm just saying type in something you want to do over spring break, okay? When you finish all 4 of these. Okay, I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that. All right. Don't forget when you're done, type to me in the chat something you want to do over spring break. If you want to type to me something you have to do, that's fine. But you could type to me like your dream spring break, like if we could do it. All right. Is everybody getting close to done? Okay. I've answered a bunch of people. It seems like I'm getting a lot of answers. A lot of you are traveling. I'm so surprised. Now, let me tell you, please be safe. Yes. I don't want you to come back and be like, have COVID. Hello, gonna miss the next 2 weeks of class. Or have COVID in the hospital. Yikes. Right? So, be careful, right? If you're flying, double mask. And if you're sick, don't do it. You're going to get everybody sick, right? That's bad. All right. So be careful. Yeah. You guys are souls traveling, right? I'm pretty sure. Oh, yeah. Some people, it's their dreams that they're going. Hannah might be more my speed, just making pancakes. That might be the extent of spring break. Well, I am going to go on a long hike. But I am super paranoid. And even though I'm hiking outside, if people walk by me, I put my mask on. Yeah, it's true. People are closer than 6 feet. I don't like them. Yeah, they need to back it up, man. Go get your own mountain. Yeah. So, anyway, what did you think of this when you were drawing them? Okay, how many of you thought it was tedious? Like you were like, this is too much work. Yeah. So, how many of you were like, nope, it was good. I liked all of the labels. It was great. So when you first start, make them be very persistent about labeling, right? Make sure you say, you know, we're practicing MP6, attend to precision. It's going to, and make them label all the whole thing. Then when they're solving other problems that are more involved, then they might not label every single tick mark, right? Because that's not what the focus of the problem is. But if they have a general label at the end, then like, so some of my students just label over here, they go 50 and they write 0, but they label the top like this, dollars, and they label the bottom percent. So then they don't have to write the percent sign every single tick mark. Wait, can everybody else hear me? Vanessa can't. Okay, Vanessa, I'm so sorry you can't hear me. Check your speakers, and if you need to leave and come back, you can. Oh, good. Okay. So you could just, if you do this, you can just label like this. And even though there's not units on those, there is a unit at the very, very end. And sometimes teachers make them write percent, right? So then they don't have to write a percent sign or a dollar sign on every single tick mark. You're like, why didn't you tell me that 5 minutes ago? Like irritating, right? It's okay. All right. Now, I think you're okay. 10% of 50. What did you get right here for 10% of 50?
5.
Yeah. Wait, 5? Yeah. Right?
$5.
Everybody okay? Yeah, $5. Very nice. So, if you teach kids to be really good at 10%, their life is a lot easier, right? How many of you do 10% all the time? Right? Because when you leave a tip, please don't tell me you're leaving 10%, but you find 10% and then you double it and you leave 20%, right? Yeah. You don't leave 15, right? Unless they've been horrible, then I might let you leave 15. But you definitely leave at least 15%. Yes? To all my servers out there, am I wrong? I think you can give 10% to the person at the restaurant where you just order at the counter and they turn around their little iPad to you and it says, do you want to add a tip? You might be able to add 10% there and I wouldn't be super mad because they're just going to hand you your drink, right? That might be okay. But come on, guys. Yeah, Sunita's like, let's bring it up there. Maybe 30%. That might be a little much, depending on your service. I'm good. Okay, but tip people. So if you're going to do, some people really do 10%, half the 10%, and then do 10% plus 5% to leave 15%. Yeah? Other tricks of the trade, have you ever noticed on your tax, right? What your tax is? Your tax is usually about 9% in Arizona. You could just double your tax. Yeah. And then you're almost at 20%. So double your tax and then give a little bit more. Okay. But if you teach people to do 10%, it's a really good strategy because they can do 10% a lot. So what's 70% of 50? $35. Very nice. Now, what's nice is you can use your same copies of sentence. Yeah. I need 7 copies of 10%. So I need 7 copies of $5. So I need $35. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Hannah, that is upsetting. A $20 tip on a $600 catering order. That's upsetting. I can't even think about that. That's horrible. Okay. The next one, notice I started asking you shorter questions, right? So 30% of 120. What's 30% of 120? $36? Is that what everybody got? Good. I'm not going to draw your picture. I'm sure you drew it beautifully. But I do want some brave soul to do number 4 for me. Share their screen. I'll even stop sharing mine. Someone do number 4 for me, or share their screen, or hold it up, or something.
I can do it.
Okay, I'm ready.
So I did mine on paper. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna be like reading backwards, so sorry. So this one, I started with the 70% and then I divided that by 7. And then I found out that each like tick mark is gonna be going up $30 and then the total was 300.
Okay. Right here. Very nice. McKenna, did anyone get tricked? McKenna is correct. Did anyone get tricked? You can own up to it. Did anyone put 210 at the end of the bar? Nobody. I feel like you're lying. I feel like someone's lying here. Every single I've done this, somebody's made the mistake. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. See, I love that because now Vanessa admits it. There's at least 4 with Vanessa, I promise. Right? So you could make Vanessa feel better and be like, I did. Because I know some of you did. Because you just got so used to putting it at the end, you know, then you didn't read the part that's really important when it says, now I lost. Oh, good. Karina said she would have if I didn't warn her beforehand, right? So some of you just heeded the warning. I warn everybody and still it happens, just so you know. So when it says the amount 210 is 70%, that's your key, right? To do it right there. Now, McKenna, here's my question for you. You knew the 210 was at the 70. How did you decide how much was your end? What did you do again?
So I knew that 210 was going to be on the 7th tick mark. So what I did was I divided 210 by 7, and then I knew that each tick mark was worth $30. So after the 210 at 70%, I just went up $30 to 240, and then 270, and then I got to 300.
Nice. And so McKenna's solution and explanation is excellent. Anyone, McKenna, if you hold up your paper again, how could McKenna put a plus on her A? What would make her diagram even more complete? Anyone see anything she could put on there that would make it more complete?
Would it be putting the 30 inside the boxes?
Yes, nice. Putting 30 in each box. And so what I'm saying when kids get lazy, and it's not really lazy, they just are like, do I really have to draw it every single time? Like, what is happening right here? So, and some people are like, it makes my drawing messy, right? I get that from students too. Like, there's too much inside the boxes. So I do have students who do this and they know they're going to get me when they start using the correct vocabulary. So it usually works out. So they've done them all precisely, like day 1, day 2, day 3. And then they get to this one and they put dollars over here and they put percent here and they go 0 and they go 100 and then they go ahead and divide it into 10. So they do that. And then they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they say 210. And they probably won't even have that dollar sign. And they'll say 70 here. And then hopefully they've written 210 divided by 7 equals 30. And then they'll do this. Literally, I've seen it a million times. They go 30 and they go 10 copies of 30 is 300. And they're like, I don't need any more labels. You can see it all. And they will write 300 down here at the end. But that's after they know what they're doing, right? That's after they've practiced the tape diagram for a while. Was that kind of fun? Yeah, because you guys learned a much more traditional way to do these problems, right? But they really can be done visually and they're very, very helpful. Any questions on this tape diagrams right here? Okay, by the way, what my notebook usually looks like, because this is normally a foldable. Let me see if I have it in this notebook. So if you can see, this is my paper that says tape diagrams on it. And then I open it up and then it has all my info on it. And we talk, sometimes we take notes on the outside that define what a percent is. So percent, have you ever thought about that word before? Percent, what that means. What does the word per mean? Like not a cat purr, but this. Yeah, for each or division, right? Yeah, nice. And then what does this word mean? Cent.
Out of 100?
Yeah, cent, that prefix means 100 because like you have a century, right? Or there's 100 pennies in a dollar. So it means per 100. By the way, have any of you ever noticed this? This symbol is a 1 with 2 zeros. Yeah. It's also a division sign turned sideways. Yeah, these are not coincidences. Mathematicians are not creative most of the time, right? They're just calling it like they see it. Here we have it. So kids really like that that's a 1 and a 0 and a 0, and they like that it's a division sign. So talk to them about it. Define those words. Some of your students are more interested in English than they are in math. So talk to them about prefixes, right? And derivation of words and Latin roots and things like that. And you're like, I don't know any of that. Guess what? I don't either. But I know enough to tell them to go figure it out, right? So there you go. Okay. So I think tape diagrams are so fun. So now you try one. You try one on your own. Brand new tape diagram. You can still see my screen, yes? Okay. John answered 18 questions correctly on the test and earned a 30%. How many questions were on the test? And do you see how I said, don't use your ways, don't use equations and things like that. Use pictures to solve this. So try it. When you have an answer, you can privately chat it to me. All right. It looks like I'm getting a lot more answers. So good. And I love how a lot of you are attending to precision and putting units on your answer to me, even though it takes a little bit more time to put things on there. Who would like to share those? Don't everybody jump at once. It is the last day. Come on, some brave soul. Who has never, ever shared their work with me? Think about it. Is it you? Who never, ever, ever shares their work?
I don't mind sharing mine. I just don't have a great picture.
Okay. I don't think I said it had to be great, Betty.
Because I didn't print it out. So
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I didn't finish labeling them when I entered the answer for you. But I know that 18 of the questions got me to 30%. So kind of wrote that on close to, I know that wasn't the full 100%. So then I just did 18 divided by 3, which got me 6. I put 6 in each one, which got me to 100%. Sorry, I can't like.
Good. Nope,
can
you're
sit and
good.
look at it.
Excellent. Excellent.
But then when I got to 100%, just to verify my weight to verify, I just did 18 divided by 60, and that gave me 30%.
There you go. Excellent. It's kind of sad that he answered 18 of them right and got a 30%, right? Isn't that kind of sad? But we don't know what the questions were, so don't judge.
I'm not
It's okay,
judging.
right? Yeah, no judgment there. We're okay. Okay, so everybody understand tape diagrams? Yeah? Try them. They're kind of fun. They're fun with percent problems for sure. I love them. You could use proportional reasoning with percents. We do that all the time. Karina, question.
I was wondering, Bree also asked it in the comments if we submit this assignment on Canvas or if you're going to put it in.
Let me look. Does it say anything?
I believe it says that we have to tape it into our notebook and submit it.
Yeah, so tape it into your notebook. If it seems like a pain to submit it, as long as you were here today, you're going to be fine. Okay, so you do not have to submit it. And I'll change the directions on that, okay, to reflect that. Okay, by the way, I have some other questions somewhere that you could do. Like here's 30 is what percent of 75, 120 is what percent of 200, 45 is what percent of 50, and what percent of 20 is 15. These, you can do all of these with a tape diagram. You do not have to use an equation or anything like that. So those would be fun ones for you to mess around with. And then here's another dress problem, which is kind of fun. Here's a chocolates problem. This is kind of fun. So if you want to practice, this is my challenge problem right here. So this would be a challenge problem for you. And then this is just a link to a flex book. So I'll make sure you have this, these slides. So what I want to talk about now is the repeating decimal packet, because some people were very frustrated. Okay, so hopefully you're using a calculator, right? So what questions do you have on this packet? We can start wherever you need to.
I have one question that I didn't want to ask last night.
Okay.
It's in number 12. The graph, the numbers of digits in the repeating block, like what is that exactly like?
So how many digits repeat? So for example, in 7/9, there's just 1 7 that's repeating.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and then as opposed to like when you have 17 over 99, when you have 17 over 99, that is 1 7 1 7 1 7 repeating. right? So there's 2 digits in that repeating block. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Good.
Do you mind explaining again how you understand if it's repeating or not?
Sure.
I'm kind of confused on that.
So we can just pick any fraction. So is there one on here in particular that we want to look at?
There's not one in particular, but since you were talking about 17 over 99, we can
Okay.
stick with that one.
So first you just make sure your fraction is simplified, and then you look at the denominator of the fraction. So in this case, it's 99. So I'm going to do prime factorization. So I'm going to say 3 times 33. 3 is prime, 33 is not. And so my prime factorization is 3 times 3 times 11, or 3 squared times 11. As soon as I see that there's a number other than 2 or 5 in the prime factorization, I know that this will repeat. So as opposed to a number like 1/8, when I look at 8 and I break 8 down, I get 2 times 4 and then 2 times 2. So my prime factorization of 8 only has 2's in it. So I know that's going to terminate because it only has 2's or 5's or both. So if you notice, the prime factorization of 2/3 is 3. The prime factorization of 90 is 2 times, what is it? Why can't I do that in my head? 2, 45, 5, 9. So 2 times 3 squared times 5. Yeah. And then 99 is 3 squared times 11. And then 125. What's 125's prime factorization? Everybody should know that one.
25? Oh, that's not prime.
5
Yeah.
to what power?
Third.
Yeah, 5 to the third power. 5 times 5 times 5, right? We should know perfect cubes and cube roots. Like that should be normal
So
every
the
day.
one that's the 29 over 90, since it obviously has a 2 and the 5, but also has the 3.
Yep. As soon as it has the 3, you know it's going to repeat.
So the first 2 over 3 is going to repeat. It won't repeat because it only has 3.
So this
Oh, wait,
one will
no,
repeat.
it will repeat. The second one will repeat. The third one will repeat. The fourth one will not.
Right. And
Okay.
then this one will not.
Okay.
And then does that help a little?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. What else we got? No questions. Everybody's got this. Somehow I doubt that. Was everybody okay with number 11? Number 11 was super fun for me, but maybe not super fun for you.
Can we look at that one?
Yeah, which one you want to do?
A.
Okay, so now notice it says all of this goes back to exercise 10. So you had to do number 10 first. Okay, so on number 10, it's telling us this. So let's see if we can follow number 10. So it says, okay, 25 over 90 is equivalent to 25 over 9 times 1 over 10. We know multiplication algorithm of fractions. It's multiply straight across. 25 times 1, 9 times 10. So that does give you 25 over 90. But then it goes a step further and says, okay, I'm going to break up 25 over 9 into this. How did they get 2 plus 7/9? How did that happen?
Did they change it to a mixed number?
That's exactly what they did. So they did 25 over 9. So 25 divided by 9, they said that goes in there 2 times, 18, and they have 7 left over. So the mixed number is 2 and 7/9. They just wrote it with an addition sign between it because then they can use the distributive property. Okay, so that's why they did it. So now that we know this, how many of us now know the decimal equivalent of 7/9 after doing this page 1 of this packet, right? what's the decimal equivalent of 7/9? I know some of you don't want to say it because you're like, I don't know how to say it mathematically, so I'm nervous.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you say it 7 times repeated, or like what's the correct verbiage for?
Truthfully, I'm not sure how we would really have to say it. I usually tell my students that we write a 0, a decimal point, and a 7 that's repeating. So we put a 7 with a line over it. So that's what I usually tell my students.
To say 0.7.
I said a decimal point, right?
Okay.
A 0, a decimal point, and then a 7 with a line over it. And then we still have times 1/10. So what does this times 1/10 do? Mathematically, what does it do? Multiplying by 1/10 is the same as dividing by 100. Dividing by 10. So multiplying by 1/10 is the same as dividing by 10. What does that do to our place value? Nobody knows. Nobody has any idea what happens to our place value.
It's going to change it, right? But
yeah, how?
It's going to decrease the place value by 1.
Yeah, so it's so it's going to shift our place value 1 to the left. So for example, if you have the number 56 divided by 10, you're going to get 5 6/10, right? Because my decimal point was here to start with. When I divide by 10, my place value shifts 1 to the left. So I would have 2, a decimal point, a 7, and a line. But when I multiply it by 1/10, my place value is going to shift 1 to the left. So I'm going to get a 0, a decimal point, a 2 in the tenths place, and then a 7 in the hundredths place with a line over it, because only the 7 is repeating, not the 2. So does that make sense?
yes.
Now you can do all the other problems. You just follow that model. So for on 32/90, you would say 32/9 times 1/10. And then what's 32/9 as a mixed number?
3 and 5/9.
5/9. Do we all agree? 3 5/9. Nice. So then we know, same thing, the 5/9 is going to be a 5 repeating. And then this is going to shift our place value 1 to the left. So our decimal is going to be a 0, a decimal point, a 3, and then a 5 with a line over it. And then you can check it on your calculator and you'll be right. Isn't this a fun game?
Yes, I mean, it's not, I don't know about fun, but.
Well, what it is it's eye-opening to say, oh my gosh, these patterns are here and I never even noticed them.
Yeah.
Right? Because how many of you have tried to memorize that 1/3 is a 0, a decimal point, a 3 repeating, or 2/3 is a 0, a decimal point, and a 6 repeating, right? Well, if we just left it in ninths, we would have made a better connection here. Because when our denominator is 9, it's our numerator repeating. Nice. Yeah, so simplifying fractions isn't always the best connector for our brains. Okay, so
thank you.
Yeah, so the one that I think, by the way, I have my key here. I'll share it with you if you need it, but I want you to look at this one. 16, 17, and 18 are probably the keys to the universe for you, right? Like the big ideas from the packet. And you're like, oh yeah, I skipped the last page. That's what usually happens, by the way. That's why I said it. I love those smiles because I know you're like, oh my gosh, how did she know? Does her camera see my whole paper? I don't know what's going on right now. Okay, so on 16, now these are my words. You might have better words, right? If yours reads differently and you like yours better, more power to you. So the decimal equivalent terminates if and only if the prime factors of the denominator of the fraction are 2 and or 5, right? So they could be 2 or 5 or both 2 and 5. Okay, so these are the big ideas here. And then the next one, you might not have made this connection. This is really looking at the table to get this. For fractions and lowest terms whose decimal equivalents terminate, how is the number of digits in the decimal equivalent related to the exponents in the prime factorization of the denominator? And you're like, what? There are so many words, vocabulary words in that question. I don't even know what it's talking about anymore, right? So first of all, look at your table, find fractions that terminate, and look at the prime factorization of the denominator. And I'll go do an example. I'll show you an example in just a sec. So if we look at one, let's find ones that terminate. This is a nice one. So this one terminates. Notice the exponent on the 5 is a 3. How many digits till it terminates? It terminates in 3 digits. Same thing here. It terminates in 3 digits. This one is where you start seeing the pattern. Okay, I have an exponent of a 4 and an exponent of a 2. How long did it take for it to terminate? It took 4 digits because that's the highest exponent on either the 2 or the 5 in the prime factorization of the denominator. So see, there's a 4 and there's 4 digits. You're like, I would have never figured that out, right? Like there's so many words in this. I have no idea. Okay. And then the last one is for fractions and lowest terms whose decimals repeat, how can you predict the number of digits between the decimal point and the repeating block in the decimal equivalent? So in other words, how long till it repeats? Okay, how long till it repeats? That's what that question is asking you. Okay. So if we look at those repeating ones, I'll change colors here so we can see. This one repeats right away, right? And there's no non-repeating digits after the decimal. This one has one repeating digit before the decimal. And look, there's 1 in my 2s or 5s. Let's go find one that repeats with more. So this one repeats, and there's 3 digits before it starts repeating. Where'd the 3 come from? Right there. That exponent. Nice. So it's deciphering what the question is asking you and using the table to help you get to this conclusion. So again, I'll go back to our
I have a question. If you go back up real quick on
Yeah.
the one, the 5/24. No, sorry. Wait. Yeah, actually the 4,179, the one above it.
Uh-huh.
It does. What is that one?
It repeats and it
Yeah.
has 2 before the decimal, before the repeating block, right? And the highest exponent on the 2s or the 5s is a 2. So there's 2 digits before it starts repeating.
Oh, okay. Another one, 3 digits before. Oh, okay, never mind. I got it.
So I'll just go back to my words just in case you want to see those words again. So I know that's probably clear as mud for some of you right now. But at least you can now understand that you have to decipher the words and go back to the table. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. It just, I don't know why I got confused, but I got it when you explained it.
All right. So right now we only have 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes. Questions that you guys have for me at the end of class about the test, about when things are going to happen. I don't know when my final grades are actually due, but you know, I'll try to have them graded by tomorrow, but some of you are waiting until very late tonight to take your Canvas portion. So I can't review the Canvas portion until you take it. So that just makes it take longer. I'm pretty sure my final grades are due on Monday, but you know, for sure you'll know by Monday. If you're worried about passing or not passing the course, we will have already discussed that. So you should be fine. You shouldn't have to worry about it. And you can play the what if game on Canvas, right? You can put in the grades that you need to get whatever grade. Now, some of you might be concerned that you're going from a B to a C or an A to a B, right? Those kind of things. Or you're hoping to go from a C to a B or a B to an A, right? So that might be what you're waiting for, but you shouldn't be waiting for, am I going to pass or not? Right? We would have already had that conversation. So does anybody have questions for me?
I have a question on what we did yesterday.
Yeah.
So I saw like on our Canvas, like usually when we do the work in class, you'll go back and put it in. But I was wondering if maybe I did something wrong with the percent one.
No, I just didn't have a chance to do it yet. I had a crazy day yesterday. You can ask the people who were on office hours with me while I was driving down the freeway. Hopefully you guys couldn't see me. I don't even know if I was on video or not.
No, you
Yeah.
weren't.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at my phone, so, you know, but yeah, that was super fun. But yeah, I just haven't put those in yet. But you should be fine. If you were here yesterday, somebody in your group turned in your board and then I just need to enter those.
Okay, cool.
Where did you say I could find this worksheet? The one that you have there?
The key
Yeah.
right here. It's in OneNote right now. I can put it in the chat if you want to see, if you guys want it in the chat.
I'm like on OneNote. Is it on week 8?
Yeah, should be. Sometimes you have to refresh because it's not synced yet, you know, because I'm on a Mac and, you know, the Mac app is a little glitchy.
All right, thank you.
Are we turning in the repeating decimal packet?
Question. I think you probably should turn it in, and I'm just going to look for completeness because I feel like if you don't turn it in, some of you just aren't going to do it. So, and I would really appreciate it if you did it. So now how well you do it is up to you. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do for our last 5 minutes, and then I'll bring you back and talk. I'm going to put you in breakout rooms. This is what your job is in your breakout room. Okay. I want you to come up with a takeaway from class. Yeah. What's your little nugget of wisdom? It shouldn't be, I hate math. Let's hope that's not what you came up with as your little nugget of wisdom. It might be something, it might be drawing pictures. It might be, oh, the math practices. It might be something about working together in class. It might be, who knows what it is. I have no idea, but go all the way back, like reach back to like B2 Candy Factory and Babylonian and Mayan and just all the things. Think about where you started and where you are now, right? Is your math stronger? I'm pretty sure I can answer that for every single person in here, but I need you to answer it for yourself, okay? And talk in your groups about it, right? You can complain about me if you want. It doesn't record the breakout room, so you're okay. Go ahead. Vent if you need to. I'm good with that, right? It doesn't bother me, okay? And then we'll talk in just a minute. And hopefully you can share out one nugget. Sydney, are you still here? Okay, just making sure. Hi, Vanessa. I hope you were ever finally
I
able to hear
accidentally,
me. Nope.
yeah, I had to log out. I don't know what happened. I just, like, I saw you talking and then I was like, I wonder if it's still my internet. I don't know what's going on, but I'm like, I'm gonna log out. Maybe it'll fix it. And it fixed. It worked.
Sometimes it's very weird. I think there's just sometimes a weird glitch between, Zoom and our computers. And it's okay. Don't worry about it. I was closing our rooms in 15 seconds anyway. So you're all good.
I accidentally clicked on leave room. So
Yeah, that's okay.
I feel so bad for Beth and Bethel and Tyler. They were like in the middle of conversation. I'm like, I was trying to close it and I was like, crap, they probably think I'm so rude.
You're like, see you later.
I logged out.
Poor
he's back.
Poor Vanessa.
I feel so bad. I was like, I was trying to exit it out, like move it from the middle of the screen. And then I just exit the meeting. I was like, oh my God, they were in the middle of a conversation.
I was kind of wondering that. I was thinking too, like, wait, is Vanessa like, is she here or are we kind of like ignoring her right now? I kind of felt bad.
She was bye.
Yeah, she was offended by what you were talking about, so she left. I'm just kidding. No, I've done the same thing. I've clicked, instead of leave room, I've clicked leave meeting, and I've left my whole class before. Like, they're all still in there and I just left. Yeah. So super fun. I know that you appreciate my pain. So, okay. So I just wanted to tell you guys, you made it 8 weeks, 256. It's rough, right? It's rough. I
Can you
feel
tell
it
me
too.
that after I'm done with my exams?
Yeah. Yes, I will, Betty, but you did make it through class. How's that?
Me too, please. I still have the exam to go through.
There's 4 of you left, so you're not alone.
Okay,
so
good.
there's 4 of you left.
That's why I was like, that's why I was talking to my group of. I was like, oh, we did it. I was like, wait, let me wait till like midnight to say that.
Now,
Yeah, some of you still have assignments to turn in. Right?
Yeah.
I kind of wish that I took my oral exam a little bit sooner this week. That way I could just be like, done.
Yeah.
But
You know
no,
what's funny is I have colleagues that teach this in 8 weeks. I've convinced some other crazy people to do it in 8 weeks as well. And they've just started teaching it in 8 weeks. And they, these oral exams are hard. They're very taxing on the instructor, but I think they're so worth it, for me to get an authentic assessment out of you. And so they schedule theirs similar to mine, where they start on Monday, but and some of them even start like the Thursday before, and they give extra credit the earlier you take your exam. So I thought that was hilarious. I was like, okay, I can't do that because I'll forget who took it when, and then I'll screw up. So I can't there. Okay. So you guys did great. Some group tell me one little nugget. By the way, you do not have to do that exit ticket, so don't worry about it. I just wanted to remind you of, don't forget to do some of your homework. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're just going to chat. Anyone have a little nugget of wisdom that they learned in this class besides just survival?
yeah, well, I could share my little nugget for me is to schedule my day where I have time to actually do my homework without having the stress of coming home like at 8 o'clock at night and I only have like 4 hours to get my assignments done. Like,
yeah,
plan ahead, like really plan your time wisely.
Yeah, for sure. That's a great one. Did I lie when I said you need, I mean, I don't know, remember the syllabus, it was a long time ago, but 12 hours a week on this class? Yeah. Yeah. Did I lie when I said 12 hours a week?
No, you didn't.
I think I
Yeah.
spent more.
Maybe more.
Yeah, maybe more. I was
Yeah, I'm like, you lied
maybe
about the
more.
time. It was more than 12.
I'm gonna say a solid 20, five a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that's more accurate right there.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, 12 plus hours. You like that. I love that. Okay. Yeah, 5 or more a day. It's a lot. It's a lot. Now, 257 will be less assignments. How's that? Fewer assignments. Okay. I didn't say they were shorter.
Yeah,
Just
that's
so you
what
know.
comes with that.
But there are fewer assignments. So you'll feel different. 257 will feel different. Okay, so if you want to stick around and chat, if you have any questions, I'm here. Otherwise, can you just chat something nice to everyone in class before you leave, like happy spring break, or see you in a week, or see you in 9 days, 10 days, if you're counting it that way, because I think almost everybody is doing 257 starting Monday, March 22nd. Okay. So good job. Next week, spring break. Jessica looks freaked out for a second. Are you okay, Jessica?
I have it written down as that we start on the 23rd.
We start on the 22nd.
Oh, then maybe my student center is wrong.
It was wrong, but if you
I
look
was?
now, it's right.
Okay, so I'm just gonna quick fix that on my sticky note.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys are awesome. Make sure you read everybody's messages. They're so sweet. Everybody's so nice. Yeah. Or should we all log on to Zoom at midnight and have a party? No, because I'll still be grading. So just in case you thought I was done at midnight, I'm not. That's when mine begins. Yeah. You guys are awesome. I hope you all find some money on the sidewalk.
I did
Oh,
find some money in my today. So I'll
you
take that.
did?
Yeah,
That's
$20.
awesome.
Oh, and Betty, good luck on your oral and to
Oh,
everyone
thank
else who needs
you.
it.
Yes, good
Yeah.
luck.
Yes,
too.
Betty, you'll do good.
Thank you.
Have faith in you.
Aw, now
Good
I'm
luck,
crying.
Betty and Bethel. You guys got this.
And
We're
it's
like the last
also
one standing.
Madison and Tristan too. Madison and
Oh
Tristan.
yeah, Tristan,
Okay,
me too.
Madison, Tristan, y'all do
Yeah.
great. Okay, we got this.
Woo, we got this. Bye,
We
guys.
got
See you
this,
in a
bro.
few, Roxanne.
Good job. Yes, I'll see you guys soon. Who do I see first? McKenna. No, that was yesterday. I see Bethel first. Okay. See, I can't even figure out what day it is. It's Thursday. So I'm good.
Okay, bye. I hope you have a great spring break.